Tess, and this is Wander Wealthy, a place for women in their 20s and 30s to get inspired and get results towards achieving their personal growth, travel, and money goals. We've been having really great conversations in our private Wander Wealthy community. If you want to join, click the link in the description box below. One thing that I wanted to make sure we started talking about was goal setting and personal development. One topic that one of the members brought up, which I thought was a great topic to discuss, was her frustration around her inability to delay immediate gratification. She's not alone. So if you are sitting here thinking, I have such a hard time setting goals and then making small sacrifices today in order to achieve those goals, this is something that society has kind of brought upon us. And especially if you're part of the millennial generation or you're just past the millennial generation, we grew up in the time of instantaneous responses. You can think about how accessible you are, from your college professors if you're still in school to your colleagues and your managers if you're working full-time. Someone can email you in the middle of the night or even late evening expecting something to be done the next day. I know several people who call their mom, and when she doesn't answer the phone, they just keep calling because they know that her cell phone is on her, right? How many of you do that? It's totally normal. We all struggle with delaying gratification, and that's just because of the nature in which we grew up or we now are evolving into. This is all kind of in the realm of this like instantaneous connectivity that feeds into our ability to delay gratification. When we put something out into the world, we want to see the results right away. It directly impacts our form of goal setting and being able to be patient about seeing the results. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, is this whole instant gratification complex. If you have long-term goals that you want to achieve, here's what I recommend in order to cope and be patient with this whole delayed gratification thing. Number one is take inventory of all those long-term goals. So make sure you grab a journal or open up a new Word document and write them down. You can have many long-term goals, but just pick, the top two that you really want to focus on. The second thing that you should definitely do is break down those long-term goals into more realistic short-term goals. Let's say you have a long-term goal of paying off your debt entirely and becoming debt-free. That could take a very long time. It could take a year, it could take 3 years, it could take 10 years. Let's say you have $10,000 worth of debt and you think this will take you maybe 2 to 3 years to pay off. So write that down as your long-term goal and then break it down into a realistic short-term goal. Now, what is a short-term goal? I recommend setting goals 3 months out and no longer. The reason being is it's really hard to predict and imagine where you're going to be in 1/4 of a year from today. Emergencies happen, you get a raise, all these things happen so quickly that if you set a 1-year goal, it's a lot harder to see yourself at the end of that 1 year than it is to see yourself at the end of 3 months. So take your long-term goal and break it down into an attainable chunk that you can reach in 3 months. So if your goal is to pay off $10,000 worth of debt, maybe it's, okay, I'm gonna pay off $3,000 of my debt within 3 months. Now, your goals don't have to be financially related. Let's say that you want to lose 20 pounds within the next 6 months. Well, 6 months again is still a little bit longer than 3 months from now. And even 3 months from now, when you're trying to lose weight, feels like forever. But it's a lot more attainable to think, I wanna lose 10 pounds in 3 months. The third thing I want you to do is to come up with 2-week sprints. So this is taken from Todd Herman's 90-day year, if you're familiar with that. But how he does performance and goal setting is he breaks down goals from 3 months into 2-week sprints. So you know what you can do within the next 2 weeks to get towards your goal. So you're not setting a 2-week goal, but you're figuring out what can I do really diligently over the next 2 weeks to get closer to my goal for that 3 months. If we're talking about paying off your debt, then in the next 2 weeks, every single day, I'm gonna find $5 extra to go towards my debt payoff, in addition to what I would typically pay. If you're trying to lose weight, maybe it's every single day, I'm going to go from spending 0 minutes a day to 30 minutes a day of doing some sort of physical activity. Once you've broken down your short-term goals into 2-week sprints that you can take action and make progress on every single day, then I want you to find something that you can access regularly. So whether it's on your computer, it's on your smartphone, or it's in a notebook that you carry around with you, I want you to create 2 things. The first thing is a habit tracker. Now for me, tracking your habits is so important because it lets you see what sort of good habits you're building. It gives you a little bit of a sense of competition with yourself when you're filling out your habit tracker. These 2-week sprints are really going to be daily habits that you're building and making progress then towards your short-term and thus long-term goals. If you really did sit down to figure out how much extra money you could put today towards paying off your debt, or if you did stand up and spend going from 0 to 30 minutes of doing some sort of physical activity, then you would just mark that off on your habit tracker. There are also some really great online tools if you're more into using apps and using your smartphone as opposed to a physical journal that you can download onto your phone, and it can help you track your habits for you. The second thing I want you to create is a stats tracker, and this is just you measuring your progress. So I recommend doing this at the end of every week if you really are working on these 2-week sprints and working towards a short-term goal. And once you see the progress you're making every single week, and then throughout the month, and then throughout the 3 months towards your short-term goal, you'll feel so much better about that progress that you're making towards that long-term goal. And the delayed gratification won't feel so delayed. I know that the end result of being debt-free is a big thing and it'll be a big weight off your chest, but if you can see the progress that you made of paying down $3,000 of that, let's say $10,000 of debt, then you're gonna feel so much better, and you're gonna see that progress right before your eyes and be able to continuously improve in the next 3-month goal that you set for yourself. So whether your goal is time related or it's actually finding extra money related, you can track that daily habit and then you can track the weekly statistics. It's extremely important that you regularly track your progress because, like the old saying goes, what gets measured gets managed. And if you're not actively measuring your progress and thus your results, you're going to really fail in that management area. If finance and improving your personal finances is a big goal for you, or even if eating better and getting on a better fitness and workout routine, you need to actively be checking in on yourself, making sure you're building these daily habits and making progress every single week towards your 2-week sprints, towards your short-term goals, and then really seeing that gratification of making progress towards your long-term goals. This is a fluid concept. You need to trial and error different things that work for you, but paying attention towards your goals and towards your progress will help you get closer and closer to the end result. You should always be thinking big about what you can achieve, but you also need to be realistic about what you can achieve in a lot shorter time. Tony Robbins is notorious for saying we often overestimate what we can achieve in a year, but underestimate what we can achieve in 10 years or a lifetime. You can do really great things, be the person you want to be, debt-free, retiring early, physically fit and happy with your body, a writer, a musician, a deep thinker, an artist, whatever it is, whatever those big long-term goals are that you want to achieve, even if they aren't so long, but they still feel like you can't practice patience towards getting there, then I definitely recommend taking that big concept and breaking it down into short, attainable, realistic goals for you so you can see how much progress you really are making. And once you see that, it just snowballs from there and you really start getting closer and closer to that end result and that true gratification. I hope this exercise helps you combat the instant gratification complex. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're watching this on YouTube, and join the Wander Wealthy community on Facebook, www.wanderwealthy.com/FB. I'll send you a message, you'll click the invitation please link, and then I will approve you to join the Facebook group where we are sharing our big goals, our short-term goals, talking about our frustrations, sharing tips and tricks with each other, and encouraging and supporting each other along the way. So until I see you in the group, I hope you wander wealthy. Ciao!